So now you've looked at simple gear train with idler, bevel gears, and a couple of those were student videos that they had turned into me. Let's go back real quick, talk just about the ones that kids lots of times ask questions about, the questions on here. So go to simple gear train with idler. And a lot of times kids ask me, what is the gear ratio? That's question number 5. So you tell me, and I don't have one put together here, but can we see this? Yeah. Okay. So here's your input. Here's your output. What's their size compared to each other? They're the same, right? So since they're the same size, what is our gear ratio? 1 to 1. The idler gear means nothing other than to change the direction of the output gear. Okay. So the gear ratio on simple gear train with idler is 1 to 1. Then if you go to bevel gears was the first one where your input and output shaft were not parallel to each other. They are now what? That's right. They are now at 90 degrees or perpendicular. You could write either one is correct. Now, you see that it says differential gear, it says optional. We may go back to that later. Don't worry about it right now. I have in front of me here a worm and wheel. Hopefully you can see this. And notice now, when I spin the worm and wheel, look how slow, or when I spin the worm, I should say, look how slow that wheel goes. So kids' first question is always, holy cow, is it supposed to go that slow? Did I do something wrong? Yes, it is supposed to go that slow. So you should right away think to yourself, what? What am I increasing? If this is the input turning way faster than the output, we're probably increasing what? That's right. Hopefully you're saying torque, because we are increasing torque big time with this. So now let's figure out, I think most of those questions you can get, and I'm going to make you try to work on them. But number 5, once again, kids always ask, what is the gear ratio? Because this is tough on this one. And that's going to tell us how much we're increasing our torque by. So watch, I'm going to put a mark like I did before on the top and front of this top tooth. Can we see it? Yeah, I think you can see it. And I'm going to count. I'm going to crank this. We're going to count how many times I have to crank the input to make the output go around one time. So watch. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And it's back up to the top. So guess what? What is our gear ratio? Hopefully you're saying 24 to 1. Then you ask yourself, okay, is it 24 to 1 or is it 1 to 24? Well, think about rule number 2. What does rule number 2 say on gear ratios? Rule number 2 says if the first number is bigger, we increase torque. We just said, what are we increasing here? Torque, right? So 24 to 1 would be right. 1 to 24 would increase speed. So we're increasing torque 24 times. What does that mean? Well, you can look at it this way. If we put 1 pound of pressure on this input, we could move something that weighed 24 pounds. Like say you use this in a jack, okay, to bring something up. You could have a worm gear. You could have another gear attached to it, a worm gear or something that pushes up. So we're talking 24 to 1. That's a real increase in torque. That's why it's moving so slow. So finish the rest of the questions on worm and wheel, and then we'll go on to some others. Talk to you later.